This is hard. It usually takes like an hour to make one of these.
Hello everyone, my name is Samantha Edwards and I'm the youth librarian at the Kansas City Public Library's Northeast Branch. And for today's Make It Monday, I am going to show you how you can take a book and alter it into art. If you're making altered book art, then you aren't using a book that people still want to read, because if you do that, that'd be rude.
So a great way to get old books that people don't want is you can go to a thrift store and just buy a book, usually for $1. And then that way you can pick one that you really like, and then you can bring it home and you can alter it. I'm going to show you first how you can make some blackout poetry using a found book. So what blackout poetry is you take a page of a book and you're going to pick out words in the page, and then you're going to black out the rest of the page and it's going to create a poem. So let's do that first. So usually what I do at this point is I just underline the words that I want. I don't know if you can see that. Because I don't want to start illustrating it, because first I want to see where my words are going to lie on the page. Or you can circle them with a pencil and then you can erase it after the fact. Here's my very angry poem. Houses, money, so big, wants wide and open, mucking his swamp. Enjoyed a hard day's work, cannibals learn to get around. I don't know what that's about, but it sounds deep. So now what you're gonna do is begin creating an illustration. You can either just color out all the other words and just make like a blank page, or some people will even incorporate the words into like a tree branch, or draw clouds or something. The fun thing about this is it's not really about like a product that you're creating, it's more of a process. And I really enjoy process art because you just do it and it makes you relax and happy. Please have more patience than me. I am not a good example. Okay, so since I made a poem about houses, I decided to draw a house and a cloud that has some words in it. So you're gonna use color. Doesn't that look dramatic? That's great. Another technique you can do, and this one is less illustrative and more just fun and relaxing, is you can actually weave paper into the books. And so I think what would look cool is actually removing a piece of paper and then getting another color that is the exact same size. The cool thing about making an altered book is that you can use a lot of fancy things, paint markers and yarn and blah blah blah, or you can just be real simple and use paper and pens and markers or whatever you have in your house. It can be as complicated or as simple as you want. Okay, so now I have two pieces of paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a ruler and I'm going to cut strips along this book, but I'm not going to cut all the way through the page. And if you wanted to make this really neat, you could measure them out. I'm not going to do that because I'm too lazy. And the closer together you make these, the more checkered it'll be. The further apart, the larger the checkers will be. Now what I have is a page that has strips cut into it. And so I'm going to weave paper. You can actually weave other things too if you wanted to weave ribbon through it, or yarn, or anything like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these into strips. You could do a rainbow if you had lots of different colored paper. You could weave a rainbow. You can weave other pages into the book. You could weave a photograph. If you cut up a photograph you didn't want, you could weave that into the book. Lots of options. And only your creativity can hold you back. Okay, once you have some strips, we'll just start weaving, which we all learned this in the kindergarten, right? You go under and over, under and over, under and over, all the way to the end. And push it to the end. And then when you do the next strip, you start opposite. So I did under on the first one, so I'm going to go over on the first one. And I'm using another book page where they go a whole weird optical illusion. And you just keep doing that until you have a whole page. It's kind of cool because the more you weave, the tighter it gets, and so the less likely it'll come undone. Now we're just going to make an illustration on one of the pages, and we're going to try to kind of make an optical illusion. So I'm going to skip a few pages in between all of these. You cannot skip pages, it's up to you. So why don't we do something where we draw like a flower? That might look
I want these flowers to kind of look like they're popping off the page. So what I'm gonna do, paint a border around it. Boop, 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 boop. I think it'll look nice with the border.
My kindergarten teacher would be very disappointed in me right now. Not coloring in the lines. Okay. So yeah, then I think drawing illustrations on the book gives it a nice little kind of pop. Makes it look like it's come off the page a little. And you can make a much better, more realistic drawing than I just did. This was specifically inspired from a project on Creative Bug, which is a free database of projects and art projects and crafts that you can find on our website. You can access it for free if you have a library card at our library, which you can also get for free. So yeah, it's a great place for ideas, so check it out. And the links to that will be in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Woo! Yeah, these are really crappy. Here. They like don't even go like. Woo! Oh, this is brown. That'll work.
Oh,
It's okay.
no, I got a black one.
Guys, I've never caught this many things in a row before.